I have all kinds of different cameras around my homestead. I've tested so many cameras over the years. This camera is the most advanced camera. It's from a very reputable brand, and it's under $100. It took me less than a minute to install it, guys. That includes the solar power. You know, it's got a solar panel, a battery, the camera, the floodlight. It's all one unit. Took a minute. Like, it really literally took like a minute and 2 seconds to install it, and then maybe 2 or 3 minutes to program it. And that's one of the biggest things when I've had different cameras. Some of them are such a pain to set up, and this was the easiest of all time. And I think it's the very best, most advanced camera. Under $100, you could just get one of these and be pretty set for your entire property to start with. Living out here in the middle of nowhere, mostly what I catch on my cameras is wildlife. And I've seen a coyote or two run through the property out on the skirts and whatnot, and it's good to know what's happening around your homestead. I've got livestock and animals who need supervised. And when you drive an hour or two to town or whatnot, and you can just pull out your camera and take a look at your horses and know that they're safe and everything's going well, or maybe there's a storm that you can see in the distance and you're not sure, you can pull up the camera, see if it's raining really hard, like during monsoons and whatever. I can just pull up the camera and be like, oh my gosh, the ground is just saturated already, I better get back. It's super convenient. And your phone automatically notifies you something was spotted in the backyard. You can just pull up the camera and you're like, oh, there's the cats again. And well, security, it's obviously a good thing to have for anybody. What do I like most about this camera? I love that I'd set the camera up for the installation, having no idea that it was going to be so quick and easy to set up. And I think that that's a real big highlight, being able to install it super quick and easy. You don't have to sit there and hold the reset button or any of that dumb stuff that takes forever to do. I just opened up my phone and it's like looking for camera, found camera, camera connected. Way better than... I've got a camera that's such a pain in the ass out on the gate, and I have to reset it every few months, and sometimes it'll take me a couple days to get it set up again because I just can't get it to set up. And this camera was a breeze. Even the programming part of the camera goes really smoothly. And another thing that's pretty neat is the floodlight. I don't really like floodlights much. I think they're pretty annoying sometimes. But this floodlight, it slowly lights up and then slowly dims, and you can set it any way you want it. And the way that mine is if there's movement, it lights up and pretty quickly goes down. And it's also not extremely bright, which you don't need it to be in the middle of the night. You don't need a 25,000 lumen light that just like saturates the entire desert. I just need to be able to see where I'm walking or what's on the camera or whatnot. And that being said, also it picks up color at night quite well. Obviously the light helps. And then tracking. I've never seen tracking. I've had a couple 360 cameras that weren't even full 360. They were close. And they were nice because I could manually point it any way I wanted. Maybe you're trying to watch something while you run to town. You can point it at that, and you can scope everything. But this camera will just automatically do that for the 360 degrees. If something walks into its view, it'll turn and look at it. And you can even set it to patrol, so it'll spin all the way 360 all the way. It does the full thing, and then it'll stop and reset and wait for a while, I believe is kind of how it works. And it'll do it again, and you could program it to do it different ways, which is super advanced. It's kind of wild how far technology has come. Something I noticed as I was testing it out, I thought, I was first very impressed that it sat there and followed me walking around. I walk around the truck, it just follows me all the way around. And then I wanted to test its limits, and I walked down my driveway And I got quite well. I got a long way. I was almost off camera, but it didn't track me once I got out super far. And I thought, oh, that's a limitation. I was happy still with the circumference that it did track, but I thought, well, that's a limitation. And then as I was going through the settings later, you can change it. It was only set to 6. And so you could go 7, 8, 9, 10, and it'll push that circumference out further. So you can choose if you want stuff that far out to activate it or not, which is obviously, depending on your situation, a really good setting to have. I've had TP-Link products most of my life, like way, way, way back. You know, I'd get a TP-Link router extension or modem or anything, and they've all been really good. So it's a very good brand. And so the obvious kicker is if you can get the best camera on the market, and it's the most affordable for everything included. I mean, under $100 for a camera like this, I think is very good. You don't have to pay for their service either, which is super annoying. Like any camera that requires you to pay for the most basic, I think it's trash. They have to at least offer you something so that you can record it to the card or whatever, you know. There's cameras that if you don't pay them, then you can't have any access. It won't record anything. And so you don't have to pay for the most minimum, and really the minimum's all you need, unless you know you're running a company and maybe you got 5, 6 cameras and it's more complex and whatnot. But for somebody just starting out, it's nice to be able to use the free package. Anyway, just my honest opinion on a high quality security camera that's very affordable and has a lot of technology in it. I'll put the link down below so you can check out the camera, and it helps support my channel. And yeah, thanks for watching. Leave a comment if you got any questions and I'll try to answer them.